New Year's Eve at my parents' house. Something is deeply, deeply wrong here. It's 7:30 p.m. on New Year's Eve, and I'm standing in the kitchen of my childhood home, holding a glass of cheap champagne that's already gone flat. My parents' party is in full swing in the living room. Same cast as every year. Uncle Dave, Aunt Sarah, the Millers from next door, a few of Dad's old work buddies. The TV is tuned to the Times Square coverage, volume low. Everything looks normal, smells normal, pine needles from the tree, my mom's perfume, the slow-cooked meatballs. But from the moment I walked in, a cold, thin wire of wrongness has been threaded through my ribs. It started with a hug. My mom is a fierce hugger, I'll pull you in until you squeak type. Tonight, her embrace was stiff, one-armed, her eyes already scanning over my shoulder to the door. "You made it," she'd said, but it sounded like a question or a correction. "You're here." Now, I'm watching the room from the kitchen archway. My dad is by the fireplace, telling a story. His laugh is a beat too loud, a decibel too high. Uncle Dave is nodding, but his smile doesn't reach his eyes. He keeps checking his watch, not like he's impatient for midnight, but like he's tracking something. Aunt Sarah drifts past me to refill her wine. "How's the city treating you?" she asks, her voice a bright, hollow note. "Good, busy," I say. "You?" "Oh, same." She doesn't look at me. Her gaze is fixed on my father, her brother. A tiny, almost imperceptible shake of her head passes between them. Dad's story falters for a second. "The Millers are here, but not their son, Jason. We grew up together, built snow forts in this very yard. For the last 15 years, without fail, he's been here at midnight, doing a terrible impression of the ball drop. I asked about him earlier. Jason? Oh, he's busy, Mrs. Miller said, her hand fluttering to her necklace. Sends his love. Busy on New Year's Eve? Maybe. But the way my mom quickly changed the subject to the dip recipe felt like a door being shut in my face. I move into the living room, the hum of conversation washing over me. It's then I catch the fragments, the half-sentences that hang in the air like smoke. "If we just get through tonight, it'll be fine." From my dad, cutting off when he sees me. Uncle Dave, muttering to my mom by the snacks. "Papers aren't final, but the understanding is." My mom's reply, sharp and low. "Not here. Not tonight." An awkward silence descends when I ask if anyone needs a drink. It's only 3 seconds, but it's glacial. My parents exchange a look I can't decipher, a mix of guilt, fear, and something like resignation. "We're all set, sweetheart," Dad says, his voice now dangerously calm. "Just relax. Enjoy the party." But how can I? The house feels like a stage. Everyone is performing normal New Year's Eve, but they've forgotten some of their lines. The cues are off. My parents, usually the relaxed hosts, are coiled tight, jumping at every phone notification. At one point, Dad's phone buzzed, and he actually flinched, fumbling it onto the couch like it was hot. It's 11:45. The tension is a physical thing now, a pressure in the room. The countdown shows on the TV, but no one is watching it. They're watching each other. The cheerful banter has dried up. We're all just standing around the living room, holding our drinks, listening to some pop star perform a hit song that sounds tinny and distant. My mom is wringing her hands, actually wringing them. I've never seen her do that. She sees me watching and forces them to her sides. "Is someone sick?" I finally ask, the question bursting out of me. It's the only logical thing. A secret diagnosis. That's what this feels like. The reaction is instant. Aunt Sarah's hand flies to her mouth. Uncle Dave looks at the floor. My father's face goes through a terrifying series of adjustments before landing on a pained smile. "No, honey, no one is sick." He says it with such finality that I know, in my bones, it's the truth. But it's not a comforting truth because the lie is about something else. Something they've all agreed, silently, to protect me from tonight. Then what is it? My voice is small in the hushed room. The TV crowd roars. 10, 9, 8. My mom starts to cry. Not dramatically, just silent tears cutting through her makeup. She doesn't wipe them away. 7, 6, 5. My dad walks over and puts an arm around her, but his eyes are on me. They're full of an apology I don't understand. 4, 3, 2. The neighbors, the family friends, they all look relieved. Like a difficult, painful job is almost finished. 1. Happy New Year. Confetti explodes on screen. No one cheers. No one kisses. Noisemakers sit and used on the coffee table. We just stand there in the painful glare of the television as the new year officially begins. Then the doorbell rings. The sound is electric, shocking. Everyone freezes, then moves with a sudden, synchronized purpose. My dad straightens his sweater. My mom frantically dabs her eyes. Uncle Dave lets out a long, slow breath he seems to have been holding all night. "I'll get it," my father says, his voice steady now, all performance gone. He walks to the front door. The rest of us stand in a silent semicircle in the living room, like a reception committee. I can feel my heart pounding in my throat. The door opens. Cold air sweeps in. And there on the front step is Jason Miller. But not the Jason I know. He's in a sleek, dark suit, looking years older. Beside him is a woman I've never seen, also in professional attire, holding a leather-bound folder. And behind them, under the porch light with flakes of snow beginning to fall, is a familiar, sleek black car with a discreet, recognizable logo on the driver's door. A logo I've only seen in financial magazines and on downtown corporate headquarters. The logo of one of the most powerful investment firms in the country. Jason doesn't step in. He nods to my father, a grim, respectful nod. "Sorry for the hour, sir. We had to wait for the close of business in Tokyo. It's all finalized as of 11:59 p.m. All assets are officially under the new management." My father just nods, his shoulders slumping, not in defeat, but in release. He turns to look at me, and finally, the secret breaks free. "The company," he says, his voice raw, "I didn't lose it in the bad bets last year. I sold it. To them." He gestures to Jason, who won't meet my eye. The whole deal was contingent on it being finalized before the new fiscal year. Tonight, at midnight, the pieces crash into place. The lawyers, the papers, the understanding. Jason's new job at that firm. He wasn't just busy. He was the point man. My parents' life's work, the manufacturing company my grandfather built, the reason for this house, this life, our entire history, wasn't struggling. It was being sold off quietly in a complex after-hours international transaction. And everyone here knew. The Millers, because their son was brokering it. Uncle Dave, the family lawyer. Aunt Sarah. Everyone. They protected the secret all night. Not to keep me in the dark, but because the deal wasn't done until that literal second the clock struck 12. Any leak, any mistake could have sunk it. My entire family, my entire childhood community, spent the evening holding their breath, guarding the truth while pretending everything was normal. Jason finally looks at me, and I see no triumph in his face. Only exhaustion and a flicker of shame. "Happy New Year," he says, and it sounds like the most hollow phrase in the world. The woman with the folder hands it to my father. "Congratulations, Mr. Evans. It's all yours." The party doesn't resume. People just start putting on their coats, murmuring quiet goodbyes, squeezing my parents' arms. There's no celebration. It's a funeral for a family business, disguised as a New Year's party. I'm still standing in the middle of the living room, the confetti still dancing silently on the TV. The flat champagne in my glass has warmed to room temperature. I look at my parents, who are now holding each other, looking at the folder in my dad's hands not with joy, but with a stunned, hollow grief. They did it. They secured their future, paid off every debt, probably set themselves up for life. And they couldn't tell their only child. They had to let me stand there all night, feeling the wrongness, watching them crack, thinking it was some terrible tragedy when it was just business. The last guest leaves. The door clicks shut. We're alone in the sudden, ringing silence of the new year. "We wanted to tell you," my mom whispers. But the non-disclosure, and until it was real, I just nod. I understand. That's the worst part. I understand the logic, the necessity. But the memory of this night, the stiff hugs, the terrified glances, the shared, silent vigil of all these people I've known my whole life, is now permanently warped. It wasn't a celebration. It was a closing. I look out the window at the empty street. The black car is gone. The snow is falling in earnest now, already covering its tracks. A clean slate for the new year. But in here, the air is thick with the ghost of a secret and the unsettling knowledge that from now on, every time I come home, I'll be walking into the house that the company built and the company bought. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. I wish you a happy new year, full of calm moments, good people, and better stories ahead. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.